2.6 is negative and 0 exponents. Now, here's what I need you to tell me. I need you to help me figure some of this out. What is 2 cubed? What?
2 times 2
2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. What is 2 squared? 4. What is 2 to the first?
2.
What do you think 2 to the 0 would be?
It's 2.
It's 1. Anything raised to the 0 power is automatically 1.
Wait, what? Why?
Okay.
Can you
It's
repeat that? I couldn't.
anything to the 0 power is always going to be 1. If I have m to the 0 power, it's 1.
That makes
M.
that makes
What?
no
Did you say
sense.
M?
Okay, it's like 1. It's like 1
What is it?
because there's a 1 in front of it. If you have anything to the 0 power, gives me 1.
So what? 2 0 be 2?
No. 2 to the first is 2,
What's
right?
0 to the
but 2 to the 0 is 1.
I don't.
Okay,
Why?
it's a special case scenario. That's why.
What was 0? Square root.
0.
Okay.
Okay. So 2 to the 0 is 1. This is a special case scenario. Anything raised to the 0 power equals 1. Always. That's your rule. You have to have that memorized. Okay? It's a rule. When you plug it in your calculator, you put 2 and then and you put caret and then 0
How do you do
and
that?
press enter. I just told you. You press your number. You press the little caret button. Okay? Like 2 and then the caret button that looks like that to the 0. When you hit enter, it's going to give you 1. If you do it with 5, it's going to give you 1. If you do it with 7, it's going to give you 1. If you do it with negative 12, it's going to give you 1. Anything to the 0 power is always 1. It is a special rule that you just have to have memorized, okay? What would be, okay, now think with me this way. What is 2 to the negative 1?
Positive 1.
What?
No.
What'd you say? Okay, you are right, Seth. Seth says it's a half. Here's why.
What?
Let me explain to you why. Let me explain to you why. Okay? This is 1/2. Now look at this. This is 2 to the negative 1 gives me 1/2. What does 2 to the first give me? So 2 to the negative 1/2 is the reciprocal of 2 to the first. I cannot have negative exponents. We do not like negative exponents.
No, you're
Which
not.
means when I have 2 to the negative 1, the way to get rid of a negative exponent is to put it under a fraction. Okay? So what happens is this actually gets changed to 1 over 2 to the first. If I had a negative in the bottom, I would flip it up top so that I would have a positive exponent. Okay? What do you think 2 to the negative 2 would be?
Negative 2.
1.
2.
Not 1/2.
1 whole.
What is 2 squared? 4. So what is 2 to the negative 2? 1/4. When you are dealing with negative exponents, you apply the same rule. 1 is always on top. Okay? When you are doing negative exponents, okay, for any negative exponent, you then have a fraction. Okay? Because 1/2 equals 1 over 2 to the first. 1/4 equals 1 over 2 squared. What would be 2 to the negative 4? No, I said 2 to the negative 4. I purposely skipped cube. You can stop throwing or your card can get marked.
Corey.
What would be 2 to the negative 4? Not 1 over 8.
2.
Oh.
What? Can you repeat the question?
What would be 2 to the negative 4?
1 over.
1 over 8, negative 8.
No.
1 over something.
What's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2?
It's
1 over negative 16. I mean, what? Yeah.
1 over
16.
16. Because by putting it in fraction form, I got rid of the negative.
Hallelujah.
Okay? 1 over 16.
One more.
We are doing more. What is 3 to the negative fifth? It says write the expression using only positive exponents. How do I do that? 3 to the negative fifth. What would I write?
Where's my calculator?
It's 1 over.
Let's call it
So it's 1
1 over
over
243.
Okay, so I would change it to 1 over 3 to the fifth, and then you say it's 1 over 243?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now, look, what do the directions say? Write the expression using only positive. So do they want it in this form?
Positive, right?
I am asking a question, and Josh, I need you to sit down.
Sir, I was just stuck because I needed a tissue
Oh, here you go.
If you don't scoot it up.
Here you go. I'll just pass it. Keep that box. There you go.
No, go that way. Stop.
Okay,
Go that
now
way.
listen.
No.
I need you to pay attention to directions because on your quiz, some of you missed points because you didn't pay attention to directions. This says to leave it in what form? So I don't want this answer. I simply want it written this way. Okay? So when it says leave it in exponent form with positive exponents, that means I'm changing it to 1 over 3 to the fifth. I don't have to go any further. Okay? So how would I change this one?
I don't know.
Oh, that'd be 1
Yeah.
times n to negative 4. To the power of negative 4.
But if I change it to this, which you are correct so far, you did this step right, what do I still have to do with that? Because it says no negative exponents.
You make it that fraction thing.
Okay, how do I make it a fraction thing?
You
How would you?
1 over n to the power of 4.
Boom.
Yeah.
There's my answer. Okay, so do you see how the variable, remember how I told you the variable even changes to 1 when it has a 0 power? Jacob did a good job of recognizing that. Okay?
Good
Thank
job.
you.
What do I do here? 16x to the negative 6y. Do we need to change 16? Is it negative? Does it have a negative exponent?
No.
Okay,
Wait.
so we just keep it.
No, the x does.
Do we need to change the x?
Yes.
What does it need? What needs to do to that? Okay, I can literally though, Carter, just write this as a fraction like that because I already have a 16 up there. And what do I do with the y? Does it have a negative exponent? So
move your
I
hand.
just leave it.
Marshall.
Josh, I can get it.
Okay, so there's my answer. So if it doesn't have a negative exponent, it stays where it's at, on top. Okay? Because it's already positive. It's positive, it knows what it is, so it's staying there. Okay?
He's on top right now.
Josh, close your computer.
What?
Now, look at the next ones. Stop. Jacob, turn. Turn your body. Okay. What, Kate? Do you have a question? Okay. Next ones. It says write the expression without using a fraction bar. Kate, how would you write 1/16 without a fraction bar?
You want to start throwing that pen in the
Yes. Beautiful.
Yeah, Kate.
2 to the negative 4. What?
Can you put it as a decimal or 22 or
No. I want it with
She
exponents.
said no. You must not like it.
Okay? So I would write 2 to the negative 4. So what Kate did was, she said, let's break 16 down, and 16 is 2 to the 4th. If I'm taking it out of fraction form, then that means I have to make it negative. Okay?
I didn't know.
Yeah. No, they want it in exponent form. Dang it. Okay. How would I change b over here? A squared over c cubed. Okay, what card do you want to try?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it A?
Okay, it says without a fraction bar. So do I need to change a at all? No. Well, a is going to stay the same. A squared. What do you need to do to c cubed?
You have to change it to
Uh-huh. Well, you just keep it. Why is what, Kate? Because it doesn't want it to be in fraction form, so we're changing it to negative to get it out of there. Does that make sense? Okay, so you just
Oh,
have to
I
think
see.
backwards.
Wait,
That again, please.
you're doing the
Okay.
exact opposite of what
So,
you did?
right, so if it doesn't want it in fraction form, you have to change it into a negative.
Why are you so
If
picky,
it
man?
doesn't want negatives, you have to change it into a fraction. Okay? Okay. Here it says find the product or the quotient, so we're multiplying or we're dividing. Write your answer using only what? Positive exponents.
Are you okay?
Okay, so if I have 5 to the 10th, what did we learn yesterday? Or 2 days ago? If I have 5 to the 10th times 5 to the negative 6, what did we learn about those powers? You add them if the base is the same, correct? Okay, so I technically have this. 5 to the 10 plus negative 6, which gives me what?
10 to
5 to the.
5 to the 4th.
5 to the 4th. That's all you have to do because it said leave it in positive exponents. Can you handle that?
I can't.
Are you really trying to sniff the-
Okay, what did we learn about fractions? Okay, so here's the trick. It only wants positive exponents, and we have to subtract. So I have 8 in negative 3 minus 2 now, right? Okay, so what is negative 3 minus 2?
Negative 1.
No,
Negative 4.
no. What is
It's two.
negative 5?
Oh. Oh.
Because they're both negative. Now, I'm not done though because this exponent is negative and it wants the exponents to be positive. So what do you have to do to this? What's the next step? What, Carter?
Can you put it in fraction form?
I can put it in fraction form. What am I going to have on top?
So then put the 8 on top
Put the 8 on top.
and put n to the
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Okay.
You say autobiography.
Boys, in the back.
what?
1, 2, 3, 4. Stop talking and focus. I don't know if you are right now, Lee, or not. I just threw you in there just in case.
That was only
Josh, your mouth. Okay. So, do you have questions on any of those so far? Any questions? Okay. So, if it says we don't want negative exponents, that means you're going to automatically give me what type of equation? Yes, a fraction. If it's in fraction form and it says we don't want the fraction anymore, that means you're going to end up with negative exponents. Okay? When you are multiplying or dividing, still apply the rules we learned the other day. If the bases are the same, I can multiply, which means I add the exponents. If my bases aren't the same, what do I do with the numbers?
I don't know.
If I have like 5 to the... Well, we talked about this on your homework. If you had a to the 7th times b to the 7th, can you do anything with that? No. Okay? But if I had... Okay, so if my bases aren't the same, I can't do anything. Same with the numbers. If my bases aren't the same, you guys haven't learned what we can do with that yet, which means you can't do anything yet. Okay? Now, last thing. They saved the beautiful word problem for the end. It says, it talks about geckos. You like geckos, right? Geckos with Geico?
Geico.
Geckos can easily climb. Okay, they can easily climb smooth vertical surfaces. Ooh, that sounds hard. Okay, they can climb smooth vertical surfaces. Biologists have discovered that tiny hairs are the reason that the feet of a gecko are so sticky.
I didn't say
No, don't say.
Geckos.
Geico. The dude from Geico.
You just now
It's
got
not a
it.
dude, it's a lizard.
The lizard. The lizard from Geico.
Yes.
It's a gag.
I say Geico, get over it.
Wait,
I
is
can't
Geico the
even
one that
think
says
right now
save
because you guys are so
the
funny. Okay. Biologists have discovered that tiny hairs
Whoa.
Ah,
Nothing.
are the reason. Stop. Be appropriate. The film is still rolling.
oh,
That the feet of a gecko are so sticky.
No littering.
Echo,
Okay. And then it says each hair is about 100 micrometers long. That sounds very short. Yeah, micrometer? What the heck? Each hair
Micrometer.
is about 100.
Micrometer means super.
Yes, it means super itsy bitsy. I like your technical terminology, Josh. Okay, a micrometer, here it is, a micrometer is 10 to the negative 6 meters. What is the length of one hair in meters? Okay, how can I figure out what the length of one hair in meters is? If I know that it's 10 to the negative 6, what do I need to do here? Can I have negative exponents? No, so what do you think I need to do with this first? A fraction. So what would that fraction look like?
Wait, no.
What would that change to?
1 over 10 to the 6.
Good. Now, what is that micrometer? What do you think you have to get out? A calculator. What does 10 to the 6 equal? And then we'll just plug that into the fraction. We'll say 1 over whatever 10 to the 6 is.
1, 0, 0,
A million.
0, 0, 0.
It should be 10,000, right?
No, wait, no.
Yeah. Then you didn't do it right.
Mine says a million.
Yeah.
10 to the 6?
Yep.
There's like 6 zeros, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I know what's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said 10 to the 6 is what?
0, 0, 1.
100,000 or a million? How many zeros are there? 7 or 6?
6.
Just 6. Okay. So I have 1 over 100,000. Now, here's the deal. Okay? It says geckos can climb smooth vertical surfaces. Biologists have discovered that tiny hairs are the reason that the feet of a gecko are so sticky. Each hair is about 100 micrometers long. A micrometer is 10 to the negative 6 meters. Now, what do I have to do to this answer to actually get how long it is? There's another measurement there. It is,
You gotta look it up. Meters, there's meters.
okay?
You have to make the micrometer.
This is meters, right?
A micrometer.
This is micrometers.
You have to
Brian,
say
you got
You have to
Put
know
over
that.
that.
So 1 micrometer is
What would 100 turn into in meters? 10 to the what?
Third.
To the
Fifth.
6.
No. How many zeros are here?
2.
So how many times do you have to move the decimal?
5. 2.
Twice, right? I have to move it. Okay.
Yeah.
I have to move it twice. So technically, I have 10 to the negative 6 times 10 squared, which gives me what?
100 to the negative.
It gives me 10 to the negative.
Sorry, 10 to the negative.
What do I do with these two?
Negative 4.
Yes, negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4. So technically, I have 1 over 10 to the 4th, which is 1 over 10,000. Okay?
I keep thinking.
Butcher off.
I'm sorry.
Oh, never
I'm
mind.
looking in the corner, my eyes distracting me because Ryan is throwing a pen and it's not catching it, and it keeps landing over by my foot.